That's the new slogan. If you haven't looked at hentai, you a motherfucking lie.
Running to the trap, G in the streets, playing with the best, yeah, we don't freeze. Niggas try to steal my energy, waves with the ice, yeah, surfboard me. I get the bag and I dip, yeah. Said I'm a RockStar, fell over all of the drip, yeah. Diamonds in my charm, like I just wearing them hips, yeah. Think like a porn star, manifest all of my dreams, yeah. I'm living like a god, RockStar, trap star, got the gas with me, yeah, I'm on more.
What's good, everybody? I'm Brandon. Today I'm about to do another video from CBR. I like your channel. You have a great channel, man. This one right here is titled The 10 Sickest 7 Deadly Sins Fights That Impressed Everyone. Y'all requested it, don't trip me not. Got y'all. Now, y'all know I watched 7 Deadly Sins. I watched all of it on Netflix. Netflix is about to have season 4. Did they already get it? They were supposed to either have it July or August. I don't know. But anyway, a new season is coming to Netflix. I can't wait because I'm trying to watch it. 7 Deadly Sins was fire in my opinion. I really liked the fighting scenes. I liked the whole thing about it. Like, it was fire as fuck. And fucking, what was the maid's name with the big, you know what I'm saying? What was her name? I forgot her name. Y'all want to hear a secret? One day when I was on Pornhub, I tried to see if they had certain scenes of her. Listen, it is what it is. If you haven't looked at hentai, you a fucking lie. I'm ready to, look, I'm choked on my spit. I'm dead. I'm ready to hop onto this video, bro. That's the new slogan. If you haven't looked at hentai, you a motherfucking lie. Let's hop into this video.
We're not entirely sure how magical powers work in the world of the 7 Deadly Sins, but we do know they result in some epic, action-packed fights.
Yeah.
Be it because of the amazing animation or because of the power of the combatants, the fights in the 7 Deadly Sins are very impressive, and we've narrowed down our top battles for you right here.
All right,
but
I want to see.
Before we get to the best fights in 7 Deadly Sins, we wanted to remind you to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell to keep up to date with all of our anime content right here at CBR. Meliotis versus Bonn. Starting us off, we've got the epic clash between two of the most powerful hand-to-hand fighters in the 7 Deadly Sins.
Yeah, that was a good
Meliotis
fight.
and Bonn. Or should we say Meliodas and Bonn, since the two combatants used pseudonyms to enter the Visal Fight Festival without revealing their true identities. They did, however, reveal the extent of their power, since the two combatants went all out in what was supposed to be a friendly battle, seemingly fighting with the intent to kill each other. The battle starts with a swift but powerful punch from Meliotis, who floors Bonn, but the undead warrior quickly recovers with his healing abilities. Bonn quickly retaliates after this, leading to a quick exchange of blows that seems like nothing more than a warm-up, at least for Bonn, who uses his magical ability Snatch to steal Meliodas' strength, speed, and agility. The fight then becomes a time trial for Meliodas, since he has to defeat Bonn before the immortal fighter can zap him of all his strength. And he doesn't go down easy. The brawl eventually comes to an end when Meliodas breaks out his demon powers, causing his eyes to turn black and a crest to appear above his right eye. With this power unlocked, Meliodas deftly stops Bonn in his tracks, crushing his wrist.
This was like the early episodes too. I remember this.
Meliodas versus the 10 Commandments. Our next fight is from the second season of the 7 Deadly Sins, which was titled Revival of the 10 Commandments. The 10 Commandments were a group of 10 demons that fought with the 7 Deadly Sins in the Holy War. At the beginning of Season 2, these demons have been awakened after their previous defeat, ready to threaten the world once more. But the 7 Deadly Sins won't let that happen, especially not Meliodas, who was once a member of the demon clan, but decided to side with humanity, which is a part of what makes this fight so epic. With a score to settle and a betrayal to pay back, the commandments go after Meliodas all at once, and what results is one of the series' greatest fights. Though the
This fight right here, I remember watching it. I was just like, how the fuck is Meliodas gonna get out of this?
in this fight is top-notch. The reason we chose it for our list was because it shows Meliodas losing. Up until this point in the anime, Meliodas was, in most fights, infallible, an unstoppable force that only got stronger as time went on. But in this fight, even with the power he had restored, Meliodas was no match for 10 demons, who decimate him with the combination of strength, speed, magical power, and strategy, with the final blow being dealt by Esterosa, who kills Meliodas beneath his foot. King versus Galia. The Fairy King Harlequin wasn't quite on board with rejoining his
I wasn't
friend
a
on the
fan of
Seven Deadly
King.
Sins first,
King was...
mostly because of his beef with Bonn.
I didn't
but
care
when
about
his sister's
King, bro.
spirit appeared before him and changed his mind, then the Sins fight against Galia took a turn. With King's strength, Galia didn't stand a chance, even with her explosion power. Even before the fight started, we saw just how powerful and badass King was.
Yes, King is extremely powerful, of course. He's extremely powerful, but I just didn't like his character like that.
Since Galia gave King the chance to
didn't
fight
like him.
alongside Meliotis, Bonn, and Diona, but he refused, leading them to sit
always-
out the fight and cheer King on as he released his full power. Galia was surprised by this choice, but soon saw she had miscalculated King's power, or rather, King became more powerful because he was fighting for the sake of others. One of the reasons this fight was so great was because it was
tore
our
her up.
first real taste of King's power, particularly
King
the
tore
power
her
of
up,
his
bro.
sacred treasure, Chastifol, a magical spear made from the sacred tree of the
From
fairy
what I
realm.
recall, King tore her
Escanor
up.
versus Esterosa.
Escanor
was the
was a
final sin
beast.
in the series to be revealed, having
Yeah.
been posing as a barman who ran a tavern inside a dark cave.
Yeah.
Though he appeared to be a small, frail man, we quickly learned that his power waxed and waned with the passing day, reaching its peak at noon. We got a glimpse of just how great this power was in Escanor's fight with Esterosa, a demon who could use full counter just like Meliotis, but with physical attacks instead of magical attacks. The pure might of Escanor's strength versus an opponent who could throw that same might back at him twofold made for an awesome fight that was equal parts fast-paced, action-packed, tensely slow, and hard-hitting. The craziest part of Escanor's power, as seen in this fight, was the massive scale of it. Escanor's sunshine power let him make miniature suns, which he used to send Esterosa flying,
Yeah, that
proceeding
shit's
to
crazy.
smash him into a lake with another sun that evaporated
Escanor
like
has so
water
much
in a
fucking
single
pride.
blow.
Lion
Esterosa was
said
able to get
pride.
one good full counter in after temporarily disabling Escanor's sun with his demon darkness, but Escanor's power only grew with each passing second.
Man,
With one final
this is when he killed him.
decisive blow, Escanor used his peak power to finish off Esterosa with a powerful and confident cruel sun attack. Diona versus Meliotis. Some of the best
When
fights
did
in
they
the Seven
fight?
Deadly Sins are the
I don't
ones
remember
where
this.
two sins fight each other, like the clash between Diona and Meliotis, both of whom were brainwashed by Holy Knight Ruin's illusion powers. Ruin made both combatants look like him to the other,
I
leading the two
remember,
friends to
I
attack
remember.
each other without mercy, resulting in one of the most epic duels in the series. The combatants in this fight are what make it so awesome. For one thing, it's awesome seeing how Meliotis takes on an opponent much larger than him, showing us just how powerful he is. Similarly, the fight was also a great showcase of Diona's fighting ability, but specifically, we love
Diona is
seeing how
cool,
a giant
but
bites.
she not
Diona
that
brings
strong.
Meliotis close, so the full extent of her giant strength can be felt in her massive punches and kicks. as
Diona
well as the
wasn't that
long-range
beefy
power
to
of
me
her earth
either, though.
manipulation
Like, she was
abilities.
strong. She
Meliotis
could
versus
manipulate the
Bonn.
earth. But like she wasn't that strong throughout the whole series. Like you didn't see her do nothing extremely crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Rematch. Meliotis and Bonn fight a lot, and their battle at the Visel Fight Festival was only the beginning. In fact, the two had such a good time beating the snot out of each other, they wanted to finish out what they started.
Yeah, I remember
Specifically, Bonn, who insisted he would have won if the ring was bigger. So, in one of the episodes placed between seasons 1 and 2, a filler season titled Signs of Holy War, Bonn and Meliotis had their rematch. But
Didn't
this
Bonn
time,
almost
the
kill
two
him?
fought in an enclosed magical
this
arena
one?
created by
Either
Merlin,
Bonn
which
almost
fixed
killed
Bonn's
him,
problem with their
or
first
Meliotis
fight.
almost
With
killed
this
Bonn. It was
barrier
one of
in
them
place,
almost
the
died.
two could really go all out, even more so than before. The result was an epic battle where both combatants used the environment to their advantage, dealing massive punches that sent each other into the walls of the arena, leading to crazy blood spatters that ended up being the highlight of the fight. Another great part of this battle was how raw it was. No weapons were involved. It was just
Yeah.
a superhuman bare-knuckle brawl of epic proportions with plenty of hits that sent each other flying, lots of punch slurries, and crazy intense injuries. The craziest thing about this rematch was that it seemed like fun. Despite Bonn and Meliotis basically trying to kill each other, it was clear they couldn't be happier. King
them niggas is
versus
crazy.
the Albion. Seeing King take out Galia was only the beginning of his epic power, and in the second full season of the Seven Deadly Sins, we got to see the King of Fairies unleash even more of his sacred treasure's power, including its guardian form and its true ultimate form. This Albion was sent to destroy the fairy realm, but King wasn't going to let his home and the sacred tree within it be taken out by the beast. In protecting his home, King let forth a number of Chasticle's various forms at the Albion, showing once again just how powerful he was when he was fighting for something. On top of seeing King unleash the true form of his spear, which was used to deal the final blow to the creature, this battle also featured a very powerful moment when the other fairies finally accepted King as their leader. For a long time, the other fairies rejected King, blaming him for his sister's death and questioning his fairy status due to his lack of wings. But when they saw King protecting the fairy realm despite their hatred of him, they flew to his side and joined him in the fight against the Albion. It was an emotional moment for both King and the audience, and paired with the epic action,
it wasn't emotional for me.
Fight.
That's because I didn't really care about King
versus Hendrickson.
I didn't really care about King like that.
The conclusion of the first season of the Seven Deadly Sins came when the Sins faced off against Hendrickson, a holy knight who served as the main antagonist of the first part of the series. With the power of demon blood inside him, Hendrickson was able to heal from every wound that was inflicted to him. And there were a lot of injuries, since the fight started with Meliotis slicing and dicing away at Hendrickson, cutting off his arm again and again after it reattached. The rest of the Sins eventually joined in on the fight, inflicting even more damage on Hendrickson. To combat these injuries, Hendrickson went full demon, making the fight much more difficult. Just when all seemed lost, the other Sins started to attack Meliotis and Hendrickson, hitting their captain with everything they had in order for him to build up power for his ultimate technique.
Oh yeah, counter. He did the ultimate counter from
Meliotis
all of that,
and
that's how we killed him.
All of the energy from being attacked at Hendrickson, which
I
was enough
remember.
to defeat him, finally putting the demon wannabe in his place. Diane versus Helbrum. Next up is perhaps one of the shortest battles in the series. Diane's assault on Helbrum, which ended in one death strike from her hammer, Gideon. After seeing that Meliotis had been hurt by the Holy Knight, she was furious. So furious that Hendrickson warned Helbrum to retreat, knowing what was coming next. Diane reeled back her mighty hammer and smashed it into the earth beneath her, unleashing a magical attack known as Mother Earth Catastrophe, which combines Gideon's power with the giant race's ability to control the earth for a powerful strike. Mother Earth Catastrophe, on top of having the absolute coolest attack name, is also devastatingly powerful, taking the energy from Diane's swing to shatter the earth and use the pieces to form a giant floating boulder, one that then crashes down with a massive destructive impact. Meliotis versus
King and Diane to me were probably amongst the weakest, in my opinion. Like, I like Diane as a character. King, he was okay. I didn't really like him too much. But, I mean, King was extremely strong. Yes, don't get me wrong. But maybe because I didn't really like his character like that, I'll just be like, whatever. But
not least, we have this somewhat subdued but rather interesting fight between Meliotis and King, which was the result of a training exercise to strengthen their power for the coming fight with the Ten Commandments.
The witch. Why
like
can't I
said,
think of her
there's nothing
name?
too fancy
Is it
about
Merlin?
this fight,
No, it's
but
not Merlin.
that's what makes it so interesting. Instead of being armed with their usual weapons, the two Sins are given the bare minimum and told to fight each other with small wooden batons. But even when they're just armed with batons, King and Meliotis are deadly skilled warriors. Perhaps the coolest part of this fight was seeing King's telekinetic levitation abilities at their best. Though it wasn't with his sacred treasure weapon, seeing the Fairy King shoot the baton around with magical precision was pretty badass. As was seeing the other application of his magical power, Disaster, like when he made Meliotis' wound bigger with status promotion.
Yeah, I do remember
Meliotis
that.
was also pretty badass
dope,
in this fight, blocking all of King's attacks with confident speed. Things got even more intense when King used a water droplet to ruthlessly attack Meliotis, condensing the drop so it felt like being hit by iron. It might not have been some big epic final battle, but this training fight was one of the best brawls in the series.
First off, great video from CBR. Some of these fights were good. They were fire. However, it sounds like you really like King. And like I said, I'm just not a King fan. I was not a fan of that dude. When I first saw him, I was like, oh, he's cool. But as I watched the whole, I think I watched either 3 or 4 seasons. As I watched it, I kind of got tired of him. I wasn't really messing with him like that. And Diane was just okay to me. The rest of them were fire, though. I did like the rest of them. But them two, I was just like, they're alright. You feel me? But anyway, it was a good video. 7 Deadly Sins, like I said, they have a new season coming out on Netflix, so I'm about to watch that bit ASAP. Yeah, man. Let me know what y'all thought down in the comments. I'm going to see y'all next time.